friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to this week's What's for Dinner. If you're new here, I'd love if you join my YouTube family. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. It really does help my channel. Today I've got 3 inspirational meals for you again, and I hope that you enjoy them. If you haven't already, check out the video that came out a couple days ago on Friday. It was part of a collaboration, and I did 3 chicken meals, so there's some more meal inspiration for you if you're looking for some more. And let's just get started. This first meal is a 1-pot cheesy kielbasa and broccoli rice. I'm just starting by prepping some of the things that need to be chopped up. So you're going to need a half of a yellow or white onion. So I'm just going to quickly dice that up. And then you're going to need 1 bell pepper. I went with green. You can use any color you want. And you're going to cut that into 3/4 inch pieces, or so the recipe says. I just kind of cut this into some larger size dice basically. And then you're going to need a kielbasa sausage. I like to cut mine smaller than typical. Like normally you'd find them in like rounds, like coin shaped sized, but I like to cut them in half and then cut them into what would have been the coin shaped size, because I like mine to be crispier than normal, and that helps get them browned on more sides. You're also going to need about 2 cups of broccoli florets. You could use frozen. I'm just cutting up some fresh broccoli that I had, and I am making this into some smaller pieces because I was afraid it wasn't going to cook through. I've added a little bit of oil to my pan over medium-high heat, and I'm going to add that kielbasa in, and you're going to go ahead and just fry that up. At this point, it's just to your liking. Like I said, I like mine nice and crispy, nice browned edges. To me, that just makes kielbasa taste so much better. And now, once it was cooked, I removed it to a bowl, and I'm back to the same skillet. I've added in the bell peppers and the onion. I've also added in about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and then I'm going to just season that with some salt and pepper, as well as adding in 1 cup of white rice. You can use basmati rice as well. I believe that's what the recipe called for. I just normally have white rice on hand. You're going to let that rice cook for about a minute or 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of chicken broth, and I'm going to stir that all together, let it come to a boil. I place the lid on, and I'm going to lower that to a simmer once it reaches the boil, and let that simmer for about 15 minutes. Now you're going to add your broccoli on top of the rice, and you're going to make sure not to stir, and you're going to put your lid back on for another 5 to 7 minutes, and your broccoli will get tender. And also just make sure your rice is tender enough. If not, make sure to add a few more minutes. Then just go ahead and give that all a good stir to get your broccoli in there and your rice fluffed up. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the kielbasa back to the pan, and we're going to add in a cup of cheese, or around a cup of cheese. The recipe actually called for 2.5 cups divided in the ingredients list, but in the steps they only talk about 1 cup and then 1 cup. So I don't know, but extra cheese never hurts nobody. Well, maybe it has, but it's never hurt me. So I'm going to go ahead and just, like I said, add in around a cup, stir it all together till it melts. And then you're going to add the remaining cup on top and place your lid on top just for a few minutes so that cheese can melt. Look how yummy that looks. This is actually really, really good. I would have preferred more broccoli because I'm just a huge broccoli rice cheese lover. And yeah, so definitely would have liked another cup of broccoli for my liking. But this was really, really just comfort food deliciousness. This next meal is going to be some super easy shrimp tacos. Y'all, this is literally one of the easiest shrimp taco recipes ever. I'm not doing anything fancy. You can do as much shrimp as you need for however many tacos you need. I'm cooking up a pound's worth of shrimp. You're literally going to season this with whatever you like. Personally, I'm going spicy because I'm going to pair this with something cold and sweet. So I'm adding sriracha, some garlic chili sauce, some Old Bay to bring out that nice seafood taste. And I'm just kind of stirring that all together. I'm going to let these cook. They don't take very long, under 5 minutes, and depending of course on the size of your shrimp. And yeah, I just kept stirring those around. If there's some that don't cook, I kind of flip them with a spatula, making sure that they cook on both sides. And I even put a little garlic powder at one point and stirred that in. I'm cooking some of that rice pilaf And the star of this show is really this salad kit. I love using salad kits to make meals easier. So I'm using an Asian salad kit. I thought it'd pair really well with shrimp tacos, and it was amazing. So I'm just throwing that all together with what comes in there, which is nice. It has some crunch and like the sweet flavors that paired really well with the fact that I did spicy shrimp. I'm also cutting up some avocado because I really thought that that would pair really well with these as well, like that nice cool creaminess that adds. And I even have this like salsa cremosa, so I used some of that as well, and just serve these on corn tortillas. You can do flour tortillas as well. These were really, really, really delicious. I love shrimp tacos, and I love just how quick and easy I was able to throw this together using a salad kit without missing out on any of the flavor and deliciousness that I wanted from shrimp tacos. This last meal is going to be an easy turkey and zucchini skillet. To start off, I'm just going to be prepping the vegetables I'm going to need for this. So you'll need 2 medium zucchinis cubed. So I just cut them in half lengthwise and then in half again. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut those up. And then you're going to need a bell pepper. I went with red. You can go with any color. I chose the red because I wanted it to have a contrasting color. Since we're using zucchini and spinach, I didn't want everything to be green. And you're just going to cut that up into, I did like little strips, and then I cut them into, like, the recipe I think says 3/4 inch pieces. I kind of just did a large dice there. And then you also need half of a yellow or white onion diced. And now to my large skillet, over medium-high heat, I'm adding in a pound of ground turkey, and I'm just using my meat chopping tool to go ahead and break that up, and we're just going to go ahead and brown that meat. I made sure to stir that occasionally while it was browning and continuing to cook, and also kept breaking that up. And now I'm just going to season that with a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, a half a teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I believe it calls for a teaspoon's worth, but I always have to add more garlic. And I'm just using my spatula to get that garlic in there and break up the meat some more and let that cook for just a minute, and then I removed it from the pan. And now back to that same skillet, I've added a little bit of oil, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my cut up vegetables, and it just gave those a quick stir to get coated in the oil so they can begin to saute. And I'm also doing this over medium heat now. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in a half a teaspoon each of salt, garlic powder, onion powder, dried oregano, dried basil, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and just give that all a good stir to get all those vegetables coated in all of those seasonings. And then we're going to go ahead and add our ground turkey back to the pan, as well as a half a cup of water, and the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I added closer to just 1 because I didn't want this to be too much on the tomatoey side. And now I'm adding in 5 ounces of fresh baby spinach. I like to kind of use my spatula to kind of push that under all the meat and vegetable mixture as much as I can. This will help it cook down quicker, as well as I need to kind of hurry because I don't want my zucchini to get too much softer. And this is it, plated with some jasmine rice. This is really delicious. I always love a good turkey zucchini skillet. I really liked this one a lot. I liked the flavors, and I'm glad I didn't add too much of the tomato paste because this came out just right. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you don't miss out on any future What's for Dinner videos, and I hope you all are having a great day.